All right, well, Salt Virtual fam, I am here with a really, really awesome guy. One of the things I love about Salt Virtual is some of these backstage and behind the scenes interviews. So I am here with a man, his name is Jason Dyba, but in the church creative world, they just call him Dyba. And so usually he's just a really great friend, a really great guy. I wanted to bring him in here to just answer a couple of questions. So Mr. Dyba, what is it that you do? Could you help us, help the people, let us know what you do?
Yeah, so I am a writer. As it relates to Salt in particular, I've written the opener for this year. I also wrote last year's that we got to collaborate on together.
Absolutely.
Which was a lot of fun. So yeah, I write it. I kind of also direct it. I get to collaborate with a lot of other really incredible technicians, specialists who help, of course, create a much bigger moment than what's on the page. So yeah, I do that, and I'm really honored because I love to have a moment I can contribute to Salt each year.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, when you were writing this opener, can you talk just a little bit, or just give us one dimension of your process that went into creating these openers?
Yeah, most years, not only at Salt, but kind of anywhere that I'm helping create an opener or some creative element for programming or just a space in general. Probably the most important question is, who is my audience?
Sure.
And what are they going through right now? What's the journey that they've been on? And so like this year, part of the process was just getting a conversation going with some of the people on the team, talking to some people who actually are in the church doing this work. And just learning about their journey. It's been a crazy 3.5 years, of course, where it was like we were doing one thing, and then COVID kind of shifted everything.
Yeah.
And what's kind of interesting to think about now, kind of in retrospect, is that it was of course exhausting for creative teams. But it was also kind of an exciting new frontier for a lot of them. Some of them got to do some of their most remarkable work in that era. And then, of course, now we've come down off whatever that was. I won't call it a mountain. It was something. But we've come into a new phase. And now there's all these new feelings and these new adjustments. And some are going back and some are going forward. And I think everyone who comes to Salt, including people who are watching online right now, they want to make something great. They want to keep going forward. But all of this up and down it's been exhausting. It's been a lot to take in. And so this year, to kind of get into the process of this particular opener that we're doing at Salt, is we just kind of focused on one word: just breathe. And even like the whole first minute of the opener is really just the sound of someone breathing. And that's it. And that you go one level deeper into my process. It's like sometimes the most obvious, simplistic version of something communicates more than all the fanciest language or tech or whatever you got in your toolbox.
Love it. Thank you so much. One of the things I love about Jason, he's a really good friend. I just love listening to him talk. I like the way that he kind of processes the world. Like, he's just on a whole different wavelength, and so I really appreciate that very abbreviated answer to the process that you do. Let me ask you this: what would be your best advice to those creatives watching, maybe the folks that want to write openers or that are creative writers themselves?
Yeah, I think just to keep building on that thought. I think it's so critical that if you're not taking that time to know your audience, that you've got to know them. You've got to ask them questions. You've got to sit down with people. Sit down with the leadership of whatever the organization, the church, the nonprofit, whatever it is that you're helping to curate and create this for. You can be the best chef in the world and make the best cuisine. And if you serve that to my 5-year-old son, he will hate it. Because if it's not peanut butter and jelly, it's nothing. It's nothing. You can do your best work, but if it's not fitting for the audience you serve, who cares? It's a little bit of wasted energy. It's still good work.
Of course.
You still could have learned a lot. You could have done great. You could have progressed. But if at least part of the goal, maybe the majority of the goal, is to serve other people and to serve our audience and to take them somewhere, then you've got to know, like, or at least have an idea.
Sure. The last question that I want to ask you is, what do you love about SALT?
One of the best things about SALT, one of the things I love in having conversations with people, going especially to the workshops, is you get to hear some of that behind the scenes of, I tried this, it didn't work, and now maybe I know this that I didn't know before, and I want to share that with you.
I love that so much. Well, Jason, I want to say thank you so much for giving us your time and just kind of allowing us to pick your brain. Ladies and gentlemen, I get to work with a lot of different people with the things that I get to do, and Jason's probably one of my favorite people that I get to work with. As you saw with the opener this year, we got to work on the opener last year, probably one of my favorite things I've ever gotten to do, and so when you see these openers, just know he's in the middle of those things. And so if you want to maybe dream up what that would look like for your church, feel free to reach out. But this conference is going on. I want to let you guys know, I say this every single time we do a recorded thing, make sure you make plans to consider coming next year if you can, because virtual is amazing, but in person is a whole other experience. So thank you for being with us, and we're going to continue with the conference.